guys, I'm back with another theory time, and it's about the storyline, or kind of just like my ideas on maybe like after we're done this part of the story, and why I think maybe it's ending, because it's like the beginning of the end, and also the most recent story quest, all the Soul Riders were in Linda's bedroom, and they were just like talking and reminiscing about everything that has happened throughout the game so far, and it was like really weird because it's like, oh, I guess we are really ending the game, and it wasn't just like a teaser or just like them saying that. And so yeah, this is why I think they are finishing this story. So I think it's due to the original team leaving, and the new team might not know what the lore is. I think they said they lost the lore book. I don't know if that was a joke or not, but I think that's probably why they want to end the story, to begin a new chapter where the current team can come up with their own ideas and character arcs and their own like lore, although I don't agree with them like changing certain aspects of the game already, since so many players have just like loved the beginning part of the game. I do love like the new island on Moorland, but I think not following what has already happened is just really, it's really odd. Like I got a new account like a couple weeks ago, and I was going through the game, and I was just like, this is not how I remembered it. It was like still good, but since I already knew what the story was before, it was just definitely really odd. So yeah, I think that's why they kind of want to end it, so they can just start fresh. And maybe this is where my theory comes in, is like maybe whatever the end is, like we defeat Garnock, or he's like temporarily gone, or whatever, we get to have a series of mini quests with Alex, Linda, Lisa, and Anne. So to start off with Alex, we'd obviously have Maya, and I would love to see Alex turn into like the leader or take on more of a leadership role within the Soul Riders, kind of like what Elizabeth intended or implied in the quest before you save Anne and we get to talk to Elizabeth before we go to like the Stone Circle and go to Pandoria. And she said that like she saw Alex becoming more of a leader, and she said that she wanted to teach Alex way more, but then, you know, what happens to her, she doesn't get to do that. And so in this series of quests with Alex, maybe we get to like watch her. We already have like the Soul Rider training with her, but we just train more with her and maybe like watch her maybe struggle with that a little bit on like not knowing how, and she kind of like lost her mentor, so like figuring that out. And I'd also love to see like the Dews farm restored, so she could like help Maya restore it, and we could get to know both of them better, and maybe like how they met, 'cause I think they're like in a relationship. So I think it'd be really cool to have like Maya's family move back, because I think they're still alive. I don't know if it says what happens to them. I think they just moved away because of like the curse or whatever. And yeah, I think that's what I kind of think about for Alex. So moving on to Linda, I think it would be really cool to explore the histories of Jorvik more, and Pandoria, maybe. I was reading through Reddit, and there was like apparently a society in Pandoria, and I think it would be really fun to go searching for information on where these people went and what happened to them. And because apparently Garnock or something else like destroyed it, so, and I think they were like in the Starshine Legacy games, so I think it'd be really cool. And in Pandoria we could have Evergrey with us, with Linda, and since he lived there for a while, he would know maybe a lot more about it, or like street smarts instead of like Linda's book smarts. And while this is happening, we can get to know Linda a bit better as a character, and just like outside of her just being smart, because right now I think that's like she's just a plot device for information because she knows everything. So I think that'd just be a really good way to like, for players just to like get some more character interactions with her that's other than her being a book. So yeah, and I think we could also explore more of the mysteries of Jorvik with her, like Jarl's tomb and the UFO. We could like investigate that, just like name a couple. I'm sure there's like more mysteries on Jorvik, but those are just like the ones that stand out to me. So moving on to Lisa, I would spend some time exploring like the music side, and I think this would be a great time to add in some Star Academy features into the game. We could meet Kaomi, Brittany, and Kevin. They were like a part of the older games of Star Academy, and I think it'd be really fun for like a replayable mini game where you could have like an audition or perform with the band or help them out with their auditions, and we could get Jorvik City on the map. It's somewhere located in the east of the island, because on this like huge map that I found on Reddit, it's like there's a spot for Jorvik City on that map, and I think they could still keep the mall and the other existing places in Jorvik City, but just like upgrade the graphics and create like an actual city, like still with those places but like also other places, and like combine it all. And the bus could still like be a thing, but just like have it be like more of a trailer like feature, and then when you use the bus, your horse could just be like on the outside of Jorvik City in like a little stable area. So lastly, with Anne, she's like my favorite soul rider, so I would love to explore how Pandoria has affected her, because she was in a crystal for, I think it's like 6 months. I'm not sure how the in-game time works for the story quests, but I think it's like 6 months, and that's a long time to be by yourself in a crystal. So yeah, I think it'd be really interesting to see how she feels about that. And since this would technically be after we defeated Garnock or whatever the end is, we did get a little bit on how she was feeling when we found Concord and she realized that her horse was gone, and then it was a baby, and then she had to like age it up. So I'd love to do like a deep dive on how she feels now. And we could also get like maybe a little mini game that involved fashion and modeling. They used to have fashion weeks, so they could like reuse the runway for that, and I think it would be like easier. I don't know how gaming development works, but I think like, I don't know, using something existing and then like reworking it would maybe be easier than coming up with something totally new. And we could follow Anne about how she misses modeling and maybe like rediscovers her passion for fashion and maybe becomes like a fashion designer or something related, because I know she said something about her, like the scar on her face and how she couldn't model anymore, and she was gonna become a vet. And so maybe she like doesn't go back into modeling. She realizes that that's definitely not her thing and she could become a vet. We could have her go to South Hoof and rescue horses and other animals and rehabilitate them with that like rescue ranch that's on South Hoof. I forget what it's called, and I forget the character that's there. But it could be a reoccurring quest or like a daily task that's with low character XP, kind of like the one at Starshine Ranch now with the cowboy. I forget his name, but it could be something like that. And I think another character moment that we could have with her would be seeing how she goes through the process of not being that great at dressage, because she was like a huge dressage rider and she was like competing at a really high level, and now she has to go back to the basics with her current horse, even though it's technically the same horse. But I'm pretty sure this Concord isn't like, you know, a professionally trained dressage horse. So, and since they just added all these like dressage things into the game, I think it would be really cool and kind of like perfect timing to have more of that. So yeah, these are my theories, and if you have any theories about what the end is, let me know, and I will see you next time.